Welcome back to the deep dive, and get ready for a journey that's, well, it's going to redefine your understanding of what it means to be a performer. Today, we're diving into a question that, honestly, it's fascinated me for years. How does one individual not just conquer one, but multiple entertainment worlds and stay not just relevant, but like at the absolute pinnacle of their game for over 3 decades? It's a rare feat, really, a true testament to talent, adaptability, and an almost relentless drive to reinvent. Our mission today is to unpack the incredible, multifaceted career of Christopher Keith Irvine, better known to millions around the globe as the one, the only Chris Jericho. He truly is a living legend across professional wrestling, music, acting, you name it. You've provided us with just a treasure trove of source material, primarily a really detailed Wikipedia entry. It gives us this great chronological journey through his life and career alongside these, comprehensive lists of his achievements. So we're going to sift through this mountain of information, pulling out the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight. We'll explore not just the surprising facts, but those pivotal moments and that sheer force of will that allowed Jericho to constantly reinvent himself. We're not here just to recite facts. We're here to connect the dots on why he's often called wrestling's David Bowie and what truly makes him one of the greatest of all time. So let's jump in. Okay, so we know him as the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Y2J, the Lionheart, but the legend of Chris Jericho, it begins much more humbly. Born Christopher Keith Irvine, November 9, 1970, in Manhasset, New York, to a Canadian couple. Now, what really stands out to me here right from the jump is his heritage. He's of Scottish descent from his father's side and Ukrainian descent from his mother's. It's a blend that, even looking back, seems to hint at a broader, more diverse path,
Yeah, it absolutely does. That dual background, both nationally and ethnically, it suggests a worldview that wasn't confined to just one place or one culture from the very start. And it's not just about heritage. His father, Ted Irvine, was a professional ice hockey player, actively playing for the New York Rangers right when Chris was born. I mean, to grow up with that kind of exposure to professional sports, to competition, to performance, even indirectly, that must have profoundly influenced his understanding of what it takes to be a public figure.
That's a fascinating point. Yeah, he had a direct pipeline to understanding the demands of professional life from day one. After his father retired from hockey, the family moved back to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, which is where Irvine truly grew up. He holds dual American and Canadian citizenships, a detail many might not know, but it feels symbolic, doesn't it? Like he had a foot in two different worlds right from the beginning. It perfectly sets the stage for a career that would span continents and genres.
Precisely. So it was almost a foreshadowing, really. And his early interest in wrestling wasn't just like a casual pastime. It was quite specific. It was sparked by watching local American Wrestling Association, AWA, events at the Winnipeg Arena. But the moment that truly solidified his desire to become a wrestler was seeing Owen Hart, performing those incredible high-flying moves with Stampede Wrestling. That visual, that blend of athleticism and artistry, it really captivated him and set him on his path.
You can almost picture it, right? That moment of inspiration. And it wasn't just Owen. He cited other major inspirations. Owen's older brother, Bret Hart, a true technical maestro. The legendary Ricky Steamboat, known for his incredible babyface fire.
Oh, yeah.
And Shawn Michaels, who, ironically, would become such a pivotal rival later in his career. When you look at that list, technical precision, aerial acrobatics, undeniable charisma, what does that tell you about the kind of performer he aspired to be? It's not a narrow focus, is it?
Not at all. It reveals an incredibly sophisticated understanding, even at a young age, that success in wrestling isn't about just one style. It's about a synthesis, Bret represented technical mastery, Owen the high-flying excitement, Steamboat the emotional connection, and Michaels the pure showmanship. For an aspiring performer to draw from such diverse top-tier influences, well, it suggests a deep desire for versatility, not just emulation. It's rare to see such a broad palette of inspiration. His first hands-on experience, by the way, wasn't even in the ring. He was part of the ring crew for the Keystone Wrestling Alliance, literally learning the ropes from independent wrestlers like Catfish Charlie and Caveman Broda.
So he was literally learning the foundations from the ground up. But he wasn't just a physical talent, he had brains too. He attended Red River College in Winnipeg, graduating in 1990 with a diploma in creative communications. That's a detail that, for me, connects directly to his incredible promo skills and character work throughout his career. It's no accident that he's so articulate and charismatic, is it? It sounds like he was consciously honing those communication tools right from the start.
Absolutely. It's a foundational element. That background in creative communications undoubtedly sharpened his ability to craft compelling narratives, engage an audience, and, critically, adapt his persona as needed. You see the immediate application of that in his ability to cut a promo that just resonates. At just 19, he finally entered the Hart Brothers School of Wrestling, and serendipitously, that's where he met Lance Storm on his very first day. Storm would become a significant partner throughout his early career, almost like a destined companion.
What a twist of fate. He was trained by Ed Langley and a local Calgary wrestler, Brad Young, and then just 2 months after completing training, he made his official debut as Cowboy Chris Jericho on October 2, 1990 in Ponoka, Alberta. His first match, a 10-minute draw against none other than Lance Storm. Can you imagine starting your career against someone you just met and trained with, knowing you'd share so much of the journey? That's a unique bond.
It truly is. It speaks to the tight-knit, almost familial nature of the wrestling community, especially in those formative independent years. But the origin of his iconic name, Jericho, is also a fantastic story.
Yeah.
He initially wanted Jack Action, which, well, let's be honest, might not have had the same longevity or impact. But a remark from someone about the name being stupid led him to nervously blurt out Chris Jericho.
Huh. And here's where the rock and roll connection truly begins to emerge. He took the name from the German power metal band Helloween's album, Walls of Jericho. This early detail, picking a name from a metal band, clearly foreshadows the rock star persona that would define so much of his career. It wasn't just a random choice, it was almost destiny, a signal of the performer he was becoming.
Absolutely. It's an early glimpse into the cross-pollination of his interests, demonstrating how he intuitively drew from various forms of entertainment to craft his persona. He then formed the Sudden Impact tag team with Lance Storm, and they truly paid their dues. They wrestled in Northern Manitoba, sharing the road with future legends like Adam Copeland, who we now know as Edge, Jason Rizzo or Christian, and Terry Jarren, better known as Rhino. They also honed their craft in Calgary's CNWA and CRMW. This period was invaluable for developing chemistry, gaining experience, and forging bonds alongside peers who would also become industry titans. It's a foundational chapter in his book of Reinvention, just absorbing everything around him.
So that early period sounds like a crucible for talent, rubbing shoulders with future stars and really laying the groundwork. From there, Jericho quickly cast his net wider, venturing into the global ring, and this is where his adaptability truly began to shine as he immersed himself in different wrestling cultures. His first major international steps took him to Japan, a territory known for its rigorous, hard-hitting style. What was that initial Japanese experience like for him?
Oh, it's a baptism by fire, definitely. And it proved his willingness to step way outside his comfort zone. In October 1991, Jericho and Storm, as Sudden Impact, debuted in Japan for Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, FMW, as part of their Super Radical Force to the West tour. They faced some truly legendary names in a demanding environment, including Atsushi Onita, Karzan Goto, Iji Izaki, and Genosuke Honda. It was a crucial education in a style of wrestling that was, far more physically intense and culturally distinct than what he'd known in North America.
And he clearly made an impression because Ricky Fuji, who was trained by Stu Hart himself, invited them back.
All right.
Though Storm declined for the FMW 3rd anniversary show in September 1992, Jericho went on to team up with Eric Freeze at Yokohama Stadium, defeating Eiji Izaki and Koji Nakagawa. This shows he was already building a reputation and making crucial connections internationally, even Storm wasn't there. It speaks to his individual drive.
Absolutely. He was proving his individual worth. By late 1994, he started competing regularly for Genichiro Tenyu's Wrestling and Romance, or WAR, as the Lionheart. This persona was about combining his technical skills with a more charismatic, heroic edge, a direct evolution from his cowboy beginnings. He lost the NWA World Middleweight Championship to Ultimo Dragon, a title he'd actually won in Mexico, and then later won the inaugural WAR International Junior Heavyweight Championship from Gedo in June 1995. Only to lose it back to Ultimo Dragon the very next month.
Ultimo Dragon was quite the perennial rival in those early days, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He also competed in the second Super J Cup tournament in December 1995, showcasing his junior heavyweight prowess against talents like Hanzo Nakajima and Wild Pegasus. This exposure to high-level junior heavyweight wrestling in Japan was incredibly formative, refining his speed and agility.
It provided crucial experience in a demanding, fast-paced style, pushing his athletic boundaries. In 1995, he took another interesting turn, joining the Fuyuki Gun heel stable as Lion Do. With Guido, he won the International Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, but then lost it back to Lance Storm and Yuji Yasuroka. This willingness to play different roles, even as a heel and team with various partners, demonstrates his early commitment to versatility, never wanting to be pigeonholed. He wrestled a total of 24 tours for War. Think about that. 24 tours. That's an immense commitment, gaining invaluable international experience, not just in wrestling, but in cultural immersion.
24 tours. That's an incredible amount of dedication. Wow. While he was making waves in Japan, Jericho also ventured south to Mexico. In the winter of 1992, he truly leaned into the lucha libre culture, adopting the names Leon de Oro, meaning Golden Lion, a name actually chosen by the fans.
Which is cool.
And later, Corazon de Leon, or Lionheart, which would obviously stick with him. He first wrestled for smaller promotions in Nuevo Leon, then in March 1993 with the Universal Wrestling Association. How did this experience in Mexico compare to Japan, and how did it influence his style?
Well, it was a completely different flavor of wrestling, and he absorbed it all. By April 1993, he was competing in Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, or CMLL, Mexico's oldest promotion. There, he honed his craft against talents like Silver King, Negro Casas, and of course, once again, Ultimo Dragon. He held the NWA World Middleweight Championship for an impressive 11 months, starting in December 1993. This period was absolutely crucial for absorbing the lucha libre style, which is so distinct from the Japanese strong style or the more traditional North American approaches. The emphasis on aerial moves, quick transitions, and masked personas offered a whole new dimension to his performance repertoire.
So he's got Japan and Mexico under his belt, absorbing all these different styles and developing new personas. But he wasn't done yet with North America. In 1994, he reunited with Lance Storm in Jim Cornette's Smoky Mountain Wrestling, forming the Thrill Seekers. They feuded with teams like the Heavenly Bodies and Well Done, giving him a taste of traditional Southern wrestling, which is known for its storytelling and character work. This really feels like he's collecting different wrestling dialects, doesn't it?
It's a perfect analogy, yeah. Each territory, each style, was like learning a new language of performance. It's a testament to his relentless drive that he continued to seek out diverse experiences, each adding a new dimension to his skill set. Then came a short but incredibly impactful stint in Extreme Championship Wrestling, or ECW, in February 1996. This was thanks to some serious recommendations from Chris Benoit, Dave Meltzer, and Perry Saturn, and a crucial tape of his match with Ultimo Dragon, which Mick Foley personally gave to Paul Heyman. Think of the buzz around him, a lot of influential names vouching for him.
A lot of heavy hitters indeed. He quickly made an impact, defeating Rob Van Dam in his second appearance. He then won the ECW World Television Championship from Pitbull #2 at Hardcore Heaven in June 1996. Though he lost the title to Shane Douglas in a four-way dance at Heatwave the following month, his ECW run, though brief, was a powerful statement. It showcased his ability to adapt to a more extreme, gritty style and generated significant buzz, drawing the attention of the much larger World Championship Wrestling, WCW.
Yeah, and if we truly connect this to the bigger picture, his early years were essentially a masterclass in professional development and, global networking. He wasn't just wrestling, he was collecting experiences, adapting his body and character to different demands, and showcasing a willingness to evolve that would become the defining characteristic of his entire career. He was picking up different styles and personas, Leon Doro, Lionheart, Super Liger, even adapting to the hardcore ECW style, constantly refining his craft and preparing for the biggest stages. It raises an important question. What kind of internal drive does it take to be that nomadic, that absorbent, and that willing to constantly reevaluate and rebuild your identity early on? This period provides so much insight into the foundation of his chameleon nature.
So, with all that international seasoning and varied experience, Jericho arrived in World Championship Wrestling, WCW, in August 1996. A company on the precipice of huge growth thanks to the NWO. He debuted by defeating Mr. JL, and his televised debut was against Alex Wright. His pay-per-view debut was a loss to Chris Benoit at Fall Brawl, which, interestingly, wasn't just a defeat. It foreshadowed a series of classic, highly technical rivalries they'd have later. It was almost a precursor to some of his best work.
It really was. It was a sign of the level of talent he was now going to be consistently facing. His initial WCW run saw him navigate the political landscape, which is famously tricky there. He faced NWO members like Six and even took on referee Nick Patrick in a remarkable one-armed match at World War III, which he won despite the odds, showing his competitive spirit. He also unsuccessfully challenged Eddie Guerrero for the United States Heavyweight Championship at Super Brawl's 7th, marking the beginning of another significant rivalry that would push his technical limits.
Right. Those early challenges were crucial for establishing him. But his real breakout came when he entered the Cruiserweight Champion era. He won his first WCW championship, the Cruiserweight title, from Six on June 28, 1997. This opened the door for some truly memorable character development, where he began to truly find his voice as a performer, moving beyond just being a great wrestler.
His cruiserweight title reign was a proving ground, certainly, but it also became a canvas for his character. He defended against Ultimo Dragon, lost and regained the title from Alex Wright, and then had a crucial feud with Eddie Guerrero, again losing and regaining the title. These back-and-forth battles were vital for establishing his credibility, showcasing his technical prowess, but also allowing him to develop personality in the ring as he learned to work with these top-tier talents.
And this is where we really start to see wrestling's David Bowie emerge. At Sold Out in January 1998, he defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. for his third Cruiserweight Championship. But it was his actions after the match that absolutely defined his heel turn. He brutally assaulted Mysterio's knee with a toolbox, writing him off TV for 6 months. It was vicious, completely unexpected from a cruiserweight, and frankly, shocking television. How important was that specific act in changing his trajectory?
Oh, that heel turn was nothing short of pivotal. It wasn't just a simple turn, it was a total reinvention of his on-screen persona. He immediately followed it up by adopting his trophy collector gimmick, which added layers of arrogance and showmanship. He'd collect and wear items from a defeated opponent's Rey Mysterio's knee brace, Yuvendid Guerrera's mask after a mask versus title match at Super Brawl 8th, Prince Iaukea Hawaiian dress, or Disco Inferno's headband. This wasn't just about winning, it was about humiliation, about establishing a smug rock star-like persona that fed off his opponent's failures. It was theatrical, drew immense heat, and showed an incredible understanding of how to get under the audience's skin.
And then, of course, came the legendary rivalry with Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 holds. Jericho famously claimed to know the man of 1,000 for holds, mocking Malenko with incredible comedic timing and a brazen arrogance. On March 30, 1998, on Nitro, after defeating Marty Jannetty, Jericho pulled out a long, humorous list of his 1,004 fictional holds, with nearly every other one being an armbar. What made that particular segment so brilliant, beyond just the humor?
It was brilliant because it was so self-aware, so meta. It simultaneously mocked wrestling tropes, highlighted Jericho's own technical prowess, ironically, by listing nonsense, and cemented his character as a supremely confident, obnoxious heel who could talk the talk as well as walk the walk. It was pure entertainment and a masterclass in character work, using humor to generate legitimate heat. The feud deepened with the infamous Lenny Lane deception, where Jericho bribed Lane to impersonate him against Malenko, further cementing his devious nature. Jericho went on to defeat Malenko at Uncensored, leading to Malenko's temporary departure, and Jericho continued his taunts by carrying a portrait of Malenko to the ring and insulting it nightly. He was just pouring salt in the wound.
He was a truly detestable villain. And then after Malenko, disguised as the masked Cyclope, won a battle royal and defeated Jericho for the title at Slamboree, which generated one of the loudest crowd reactions in WCW history. Huge pop.
Jericho leaned into arguably his most hilarious heel gimmick, the conspiracy victim. He claimed a vast conspiracy was afoot, blaming everyone from the WCW locker room to J.J. Dillon, Ted Turner, and hilariously, even President Bill Clinton in a Washington, D.C. vignette. That was pure gold, a fantastic way to develop an arrogant, paranoid heel character, wasn't it?
Absolutely. That conspiracy victim gimmick perfectly tapped into the real-life booking chaos and perceived favoritism within WCW at the time. It allowed Jericho to comment on the internal politics of the company in character, giving his complaints a layer of authenticity while making her incredibly entertaining to watch. He blended reality and fiction masterfully, transforming real-world frustrations into engaging storytelling. He regained the title twice, once via DQ against Malenko and then again from Rey Mysterio Jr., but ultimately lost it decisively to Yuvendid Guerrera, with Malenko as special referee at Road Wild. The Cruiserweight division was indeed a dynamic place, but it was becoming clear Jericho's star was already outgrowing it.
His run in the Cruiserweight division truly elevated it and showcased his range. Then he transitioned to the World Television Champion picture, winning the title from Stevie Ray on August 10, 1998. During this time, he famously called out WCW World Heavyweight Champion Goldberg repeatedly, but they never actually wrestled, which, as we know, became a significant point of contention for Jericho and a major career turning point.
Indeed. Jericho later cited Eric Bischoff, Goldberg, and Hulk Hogan's refusal to book him in a pay-per-view squash match loss against Goldberg, which Jericho believed would be a huge draw and legitimize him on a bigger stage, even in defeat, as a major reason for leaving WCW. He felt a valuable opportunity for both performers was being squandered due to backstage politics. He lost the TV title to Conan and then embarked on a bizarre, memorable feud with Perry Saturn and a series of strange matches, including loser must wear a dress bouts and a dog collar match. It was wild.
A dress match. Only in late 90s WCW could that happen. Ha. After this, a pivotal decision was made. She signed with the World Wrestling Federation, or WWF, on June 30th, 1999. His WCW theme, One Crazed Anarchist, later even lent his name to a Fozzy single showing how deeply ingrained these eras were for him. It's clear that his WCW run, despite its frustrations and the chaotic booking, was absolutely critical in forging the incredibly well-rounded, charismatic, and adaptable character he would become. This was the launchpad for Y2J. So after conquering territories and mastering the heel persona in WCW, Chris Jericho made the jump to the WWF, entering the white-hot Attitude Era. And what an entrance it was. His iconic WWF debut was preceded by a countdown to the new Millennium Clock on WWF programming, a brilliant tease for wits. Jericho himself was inspired by seeing a similar clock in a post office, and Vince McMahon, recognizing the genius, approved it for his entrance. How crucial was that anticipation building in setting the stage for Y2J?
Oh, that countdown was nothing short of a masterstroke of marketing and character introduction. It built massive anticipation, allowing the audience to imagine who this mysterious new force would be, rather than just being told. When he finally debuted on August 9th, 1999, on Raw is War in Chicago, famously interrupting The Rock, arguably the biggest talker of the business, he didn't just arrive, he announced himself. He proclaimed Raw is Jericho, and that he had come to save the World Wrestling Federation, introducing his Y2J moniker, a clever play on the omnipresent Y2K bug fear. The Rock's quick-witted verbal mockery in response was instant classic television, immediately establishing Jericho as a top-tier performer who could go toe-to-toe with the best.
That segment alone cemented him as a force. He made his in-ring debut as a heel on August 26th on SmackDown, losing by disqualification to Road Dogg after powerbombing him through a table. It was a strong, aggressive introduction. His first long-term feud was with Chyna for the WWF Intercontinental Championship, leading to him winning his first IC title from her at Armageddon in December 1999. This immediately showed he was going to be a championship-level talent in the company.
That feud had a unique twist with them briefly becoming co-champions, a rare occurrence, before he attained sole champion status at Royal Rumble 2000. This early period established his championship pedigree right away. He then engaged in a memorable feud with Kurt Angle, losing the IC title but then winning the European title at WrestleMania 2000 in a triple threat match. It showed his ability to always be around the gold even if the titles were changing hands quickly.
He was consistently in the mix for gold, always relevant. There was even a brief, albeit unrecognized, WWF Championship reign against Triple H due to a fast count by referee Earl Hebner. The company doesn't officially acknowledge it, but it demonstrated he was absolutely main event ready. He won his third IC title from Benoit, lost it back quickly, and then had a grueling last man standing match lost to Triple H at Fully Loaded 2000, despite Stephanie's interference. These feuds weren't just about wins and losses, they were about building his reputation as a top-tier performer who could deliver against anyone.
His ability to have compelling matches and feuds with different styles of wrestlers was evident throughout this period. He won his fourth IC title in a ladder match against Chris Benoit at Royal Rumble 2001, a match often cited as a classic. He then successfully defended it against William Regal at WrestleMania X7, a huge stage, before losing it to Triple H days later. Beyond singles competition, he also had significant tag team success, proving his adaptability.
Yes. He became WWF Tag Team Champion twice, first with Chris Benoit, defeating Austin and Triple H in a match where Triple H legitimately tore his quadriceps. Talk about an intense match.
Crazy match.
And then again with The Rock, defeating the Dudley Boys. He even competed in a triple threat for Austin's WWF Championship at King of the Ring 2001, where Booker T interfered, kick-starting the invasion angle. It feels like he was constantly at the very center of the action, a utility player who could perform any role asked of him.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
He remained loyal to the WWF during the Invasion storyline, despite his WCW and ECW past, a strategic move that further endeared him to the company leadership and ensured he was positioned as a top star when the dust settled. This raised his profile significantly, as he was seen as a defender of the WWFs.
That loyalty clearly paid off, and it set up an incredible storyline. He developed a jealousy towards The Rock, seeing him as someone who hadn't paid his dues in the same way, which created a fantastic rivalry. He capitalized on this by winning the WCW Championship from The Rock at No Mercy in October 2001 after debuting a new finisher, The Breakdown, onto a steel chair, his very first world title. This was a massive, career-defining moment, signaling his arrival at the absolute top.
And then, the culmination, the moment that etched his name into the history books. He unified the WWF and the WCW titles at Vengeance on December 9, 2001. He defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock on the same night. This made him the first ever undisputed WWF champion, a truly historic achievement, unifying the two major championships from the Monday Night Wars. This achievement also made him the fourth Grand Slam champion under the original format, an indicator of his comprehensive success across multiple titles. It's hard to overstate the magnitude of defeating both Austin and Rock in one night to claim that top spot.
Unbelievable. Defeating two of the biggest stars in wrestling history, the faces of the Attitude Era, on the same night to become the champion. He then defended the undisputed title against The Rock at Royal Rumble 2002 and Austin at No Way Out 2002, solidifying his reign as the undisputed king. But he eventually lost the title to Royal Rumble winner Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania X8 on March 17, 2002. It was the end of an era, but he'd already made history.
Yeah, even after losing the top title, his career continued to be marked by high-profile feuds and championships in the mid-2000s. He was drafted to SmackDown, but quickly moved back to Raw, a move that speaks to his strong will and preference for creative control, as he was apparently unwilling to work for Stephanie McMahon. He then feuded with Ric Flair, losing at SummerSlam, and then won his fifth Intercontinental Championship from Rob Van Dam, only to lose it back to Kane 2 weeks later. This rapid title shifting was a common feature of this era.
He formed a successful tag team with Christian, winning the World Tag Team Championship, further showcasing his versatility and ability to connect with different partners. Then came his involvement in the Royal Rumble 2003, where he chose entry #2 to start against Shawn Michaels, whom he claimed to be better than. Christian, disguised as Jericho, attacked Michaels, and Jericho eliminated him, though Michaels later caused Jericho's elimination. This was pure Jericho mischief, laying the groundwork for a truly epic rivalry.
That setup perfectly fueled their iconic rivalry. He defeated Jeff Hardy at No Way Out, but ultimately lost to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 9X. He delivered a low blow post-match as a sign of disrespect, refusing to let Michaels have the last word. This led directly to his notorious Goldberg feud in 2003, fueled by Goldberg's past refusal to fight him in WCW. Jericho used his highlight reel segment, his own talk show, to verbally dismantle Goldberg. And the infamous limousine incident storyline where Lance Storm was the assailant and Jericho the conspirator deepened the animosity. He eventually lost to Goldberg at Bad Blood, but the feud itself was highly personal and memorable.
What a saga. He won his 6th Intercontinental title from RVD, immediately losing it back in a steel cage. Then came the Trish Stratus and Christian love triangle, a classic WWE soap opera where his romance with Trish turned out to be a bet with Christian. Stratus's betrayal led to a match at WrestleMania XX in 2004, which Jericho lost. He won a handicap rematch at Backlash and then, always seeking gold, captured a record-breaking 7th Intercontinental Championship from Christian and a ladder match at Unforgiven in September 2004, breaking Jeff Jarrett's long-standing record. However, he lost it to Shelton Benjamin at Taboo Tuesday, once again showcasing the competitive nature of that title.
This period truly highlights his ability to stay relevant and collect championships, demonstrating that he was constantly chasing new accomplishments. And speaking of innovation, Jericho made a monumental, often overlooked contribution to the industry. He suggested the concept of the Money in the Bank ladder match. The multi-person ladder match where a briefcase containing a contract for a world title shot is suspended above the ring. He even competed in the inaugural one at WrestleMania 21 in 2005, which Edge won. This is a monumental contribution to the industry, literally shaping future WrestleMania events and annual storylines for years to come.
He literally changed the game with that innovation. Wow. He then feuded with John Cena, turning heel by betraying Cena, showing he could flip his character at will. He lost a "you're fired" match for the WWE Championship to Cena, leading to his contractual departure on August 25, 2005. It was a dramatic exit, setting the stage for his next act. This period highlights the immense trust the company placed in him. He was not just a champion, not just a performer, but a unifier, literally changing the landscape of the championship lineage and even innovating match concepts like Money in the Bank. It makes you wonder, how many wrestlers can truly claim to have shaped the industry in such a fundamental way, not just with their performances, but with their character innovations and their creative input?
Very few. Very, very few.
So after a couple years away, focusing on his burgeoning music career with Fozzy, Chris Jericho made a much-anticipated return to WWE. And this wasn't just any return. It was built up with cryptic 15-second binary code videos that ran for weeks, referencing the Matrix and biblical links, generating massive, massive hype. It was a masterclass in building anticipation, wasn't it?
Well, absolutely. That viral marketing campaign was brilliantly executed, a modern approach to a classic wrestling reveal. He returned as a face on November 19, 2007, interrupting Randy Orton, declaring his intention to save WWE fans from Orton's villainy. He debuted his Codebreaker finisher, immediately giving him a new, impactful move that became synonymous with his return. This wasn't just a reappearance, it was a total reinvention of his entrance, his offense, and his entire motivation.
He quickly reestablished himself, feuding with Randy Orton and JBL. He then won his record 8th Intercontinental Championship from Jeff Hardy in March 2008, a testament to his consistent main event presence and his ability to collect gold. But then came one of the most acclaimed, most talked about feuds of his entire career, one that truly elevated him to another level of character work.
The iconic Shawn Michaels feud in 2008. Oh yeah. It began subtly when Jericho was appointed special guest referee for Michaels versus Batista at Backlash, where Michaels feigned a knee injury to win. Jericho, ever the astute observer, accused Michaels of cheating. He later apologized, but Michaels admitted the ruse, then attacked Jericho. It was a classic slow burn, a psychological drama that built week after week.
And this is where we really see that David Bowie comparison shine again, a complete character overhaul. On June 9, 2008, Jericho brutally attacked Michaels on the highlight reel with a low blow and sent him crashing through the Geritron 6000, damaging Michaels' eye. This shocking, deeply personal act cemented his heel turn and was so impactful it was named Feud of the Year by both Pro Wrestling Illustrated and the Wrestling Observer newsletter. It was truly compelling, gritty, and deeply personal.
That feud redefined Jericho's character once again, shifting him from a charismatic face to a cold, calculating, suit-wearing villain. He adopted this new persona, inspired by Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men and legendary wrestler Nick Bockwinkel, presenting a more sophisticated, almost detached, yet terrifying heel. He defeated Michaels at the Great American Bash by deliberately attacking his injured eye and then escalated the rivalry further by punching Michaels' wife Rebecca at SummerSlam, leading to an unsanctioned match at Unforgiven. The emotional stakes were incredibly high, demonstrating his willingness to push boundaries for character development.
The emotional stakes were sky high, and it made for riveting television. Later that very night, in a surprising turn of events, Jericho won his first World Heavyweight Championship at Unforgiven as a last-minute replacement for CM Punk in a championship scramble match. This was a huge, unexpected moment, cementing him at the very top of the card as a world champion once again, proving his longevity and adaptability.
It's exactly. He then had a brutal ladder match against Michaels at No Mercy, which he won, and although he lost the title to Batista, he regained it just 8 days later in a steel cage match on Raw. He lost to John Cena at Survivor Series, but ended the year by winning the prestigious 2008 Superstar of the Year Slammy. This period showcased his ability to thrive in the main event, his continued character evolution, and his mastery of generating genuine heat.
He further cemented his legend status by feuding with veteran wrestlers like Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, Jimmy Snuka, and Roddy Piper, even fighting actor Mickey Rourke at WrestleMania 25. He was truly embracing his role as a legend, challenging other legends, a gatekeeper of sorts. Then came a new tag team dynamic with Jericho.
That tag team with Edge, and later with Big Show, was another successful reinvention, demonstrating his ability to elevate a tag team while still being a main event player. He became the first wrestler to win every original Grand Slam-eligible championship with Edge. And when Edge was injured, Big Show replaced him, forming Jericho, which dominated and won the 2009 Tag Team of the Year Slammy. This showcased his ability to adapt and form successful, compelling alliances, always staying fresh.
Jericho was dominant, but they eventually lost the unified tag titles to D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, in a brutal TLC match. Jericho then won his 3rd World Heavyweight Championship in an Elimination Chamber match and successfully defeated Edge to retain it at WrestleMania XSS before losing it to Jack Swagger via Money in the Bank cash-in. It's a classic way for a champion to lose without being pinned.
Yeah, it predicts the champ. His career continued to evolve after his 2010 kayfabe departure, explained by a punt to the head from Randy Orton, allowing him to step away gracefully for other projects. His 3rd WWE run, from 2011 to 2018, brought further reinventions, starting with those now familiar cryptic vignettes once again before his return for the Royal Rumble 2012. It became his signature way of coming back.
This set up his incredibly intense feud with WWE champion CM Punk over the Best in the World moniker. Jericho leaned into a deeply personal approach, using insults about Punk's family, trying to get inside his head. He lost to Punk at WrestleMania XE8 in Extreme Rules, but those matches were critically acclaimed and further solidified his ability to create compelling, high-stakes feuds.
He was briefly suspended for 30 days for kicking a Brazilian flag at a live event in 2012, showing that even a seasoned veteran can have missteps and face consequences. He continued with sporadic feuds with Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Fandango, often taking several hiatuses for Fozzy tours, showing his commitment to both his passions.
And then came, arguably, his most popular gimmick in years, the List of Jericho. After returning full-time on Raw in January 2016 and initially feuding with AJ Styles, he formed an unlikely yet incredibly compelling alliance with Kevin Owens, ultimately helping him win the WWE Universal Championship. This is when the magic truly happened, right? The List took on a life of its own.
It absolutely did.
Yeah.
The List of Jericho became an absolute phenomenon. He would dramatically pull out a clipboard and write down names of anyone who bothered him, exclaiming, "You just made the list."
Yeah.
It was a simple yet ingenious tool that combined comedy, arrogance, and genuine heel heat. It became hugely popular and critically acclaimed as a highlight of Raw, demonstrating his deep understanding of audience engagement and character work, creating a simple yet effective tool for comedy and storytelling. It shows that sometimes the simplest ideas, executed perfectly, can become iconic.
The List was everywhere. Fan signs, merchandise. He continued his winning ways, capturing the WWE United States Championship from Roman Reigns in January 2017, becoming a Grand Slam winner under the current format, showing he could win any title at any time. He was even suspended above the ring in a shark cage during Owens' Universal title defense at Royal Rumble 2017, pure, classic heel gold, trying to influence the match from above.
But the Festival of Friendship on Raw in February 2017 was a dramatic and heartbreaking turning point. Jericho hosted it for Owens, genuinely believing in their friendship, only for Owens to brutally attack him, ending their alliance in a shocking betrayal that instantly turned Jericho face again. It was a segment that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world and elevated both characters through the sheer emotional investment it generated.
He immediately sought revenge, causing Owens to lose the Universal Championship to Goldberg at Fastlane. He then lost the U.S. title to Owens at WrestleMania 33, regained it at Payback, and then, in a very dramatic exit, lost it back to Owens 2 nights later on SmackDown Live, being stretchered out. This was a dramatic farewell, but not his final one in wrestling. His last WWE in-ring appearance for this run was at the Greatest Royal Rumble in April 2018.
His reason for departure is significant and speaks to his unwavering belief in himself and his creative vision. Jericho later revealed an incident at WrestleMania 33 in 2017 where his highly anticipated UF title match against Kevin Owens, which he believed should have been higher up the card, was placed second on the card by Vince McMahon. This decision, he stated, essentially led him to finalize his decision to seek work elsewhere after 15 years with WWE. This extensive WWE career is remarkable, not just for the sheer number of championships, a record 9 intercontinental titles, the first undisputed WWF champion, but for his consistent ability to adapt and connect. The List of Jericho is a prime example of someone who deeply understands audience engagement and character work, creating a phenomenon out of a simple notebook. It truly raises an important question. How many wrestlers can claim to have shaped the industry in such a fundamental way, not just with their performances, but with their character innovations and willingness to push for creative respect?
So, Chris Jericho's monumental WWE run concludes. But his story, as we've seen, is far from over. This is where he truly cemented his legacy as a global wrestling icon, unafraid to explore new territories and challenge conventional wisdom. In November 2017, he made a truly shocking return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW, in a pre-taped vignette challenging Kenny Omega to Alpha vs. Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12. This was his first non-WWE match since 1999, nearly 2 decades. What made this return so groundbreaking?
It was absolutely monumental, and it shattered a perceived barrier between major promotions. While some sources suggested Dave Meltzer reported Jericho was a free agent, NJPW also stated Vince McMahon gave permission, highlighting the delicate dance between companies. Regardless of the specifics, it was a game changer, because it showed a top-tier WWE star could and would work elsewhere on a major stage. Although Jericho lost to Omega, the match received a rare 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer, Jericho's first ever. This proved unequivocally that he could still deliver at the absolute highest level, even outside his comfort zone.
The 5-star match outside of WWE at that stage in his career, truly incredible. He wasn't done with NJPW either. He continued his run, winning the IWGP Intercontinental Championship from Tetsuya Naito at Dominion 6.9, becoming the first person to hold both the WWE and IWGP Intercontinental titles. This wasn't just another belt, it was a huge statement about his global reach and his ability to conquer any promotion's top prizes.
It undeniably solidified his global icon status. He then lost the IWGP IC title back to Naito at Wrestle Kingdom 13. He also faced Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, one of the most prestigious titles in the world, and defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom 14. These high-profile matches against NJPW's top stars cemented his status as an international draw and proved his in-ring quality had not diminished, even as he approached 50.
He wasn't just working for major promotions either. He was also active on the independent circuit, showing his connection to the broader wrestling community. In September 2018, he made a surprise appearance at All In, the landmark independent show promoted by Cody and the Young Bucks that predated AEW. Disguised as Penta El Zero, he attacked Kenny Omega to promote his upcoming cruise, showing his knack for creative marketing and building buzz outside of established corporate structures.
And that cruise, Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, launched in 2018, is a perfect example of his entrepreneurial spirit and ability to combine his passions. It literally combines rock and wrestling, featuring live bands, artist activities, and wrestling tournaments. Multiple cruises have followed, blending his two passions perfectly and creating a unique fan experience. He also made surprise appearances for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, PWG Battle of Los Angeles 2023 with the Jericho Appreciation Society, Revolution Pro Wrestling attacking Will Ospreay, and even Vietnam Pro Wrestling, showing he's still connected to the broader wrestling world.
So you look at all these ventures, from NJPW to independent shows and his own cruise, and you see a pattern. From being a trailblazer in NJPW and ECW, to shaping the identity of WWE in the Attitude Era, and now taking on these new challenges, Jericho has proven that reinvention isn't just a strategy, it's his superpower. In January 2019, he made another monumental move, making a surprise appearance at AEW's media event and signing a 3-year, full-time contract. This was a massive signing for the fledgling promotion, lending instant credibility.
His signing instantly gave AEW a proven main event star, a household name who could draw viewers and legitimize a brand new wrestling company. He wasted no time in making an impact. He defeated Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing in May 2019, and then, in another historic first, became the inaugural AEW World Champion by defeating Adam Page at All Out in August 2019. Being the first champion of a major new promotion is a significant part of any company's history and permanently etched his name into AEW's foundation.
And he didn't just win the title. He immediately formed a powerful stable, the Inner Circle, on the premiere of Dynamite on October 2, 2019. With Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz, they became a dominant force, defending his title against Darby Allin, Cody, and Scorpio Sky. He eventually lost the AEW World Championship to Jon Moxley at Revolution in February 2020. But the Inner Circle continued to be a central storyline, introducing new stars to a wider audience.
The Inner Circle was absolutely crucial for establishing AEW's early identity and showcasing new, younger talent alongside a seasoned veteran like Jericho. They feuded with the Elite, including a remarkable Stadium Stampede match victory at Double or Nothing, a match that embraced cinematic wrestling during the pandemic. He also had a notable comedic rivalry with Orange Cassidy, losing a Mimosa Mayhem match at All Out. His ability to work with vastly different character types and still make it compelling is truly remarkable, showing his range.
Then came the epic storyline feud with MJF, a long-term psychological battle that saw MJF eventually join the Inner Circle after defeating Jericho at Full Gear in November 2020. This storyline was a slow-burn masterpiece, full of twists and turns, with MJF eventually betraying and leaving the Inner Circle to form his own rival stable, the Pinnacle.
That betrayal led to brutal faction warfare, including a blood and guts match loss for the Inner Circle and a Stadium Stampede victory at Double or Nothing, another cinematic spectacle. Jericho then embarked on the Labors of Jericho series, a throwback to classic wrestling tropes, where he had to defeat Shawn Spears, Nick Gage, Juventud Guerrera, and Wardlow to get another match with MJF. He ultimately defeated MJF at All Out 2021 to save his career, showcasing his longevity and storytelling prowess even in high-stakes matches, pulling out all the stops.
He just kept going, reinventing. After the Inner Circle, he transitioned into a new persona and formed the Jericho Appreciation Society, or JAS, in 2022. He turned heel again by attacking Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz, forming the JAS with 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, rebranding them as sports entertainers. They feuded with the Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie Kingston in highly violent matches, including an Anarchy in the Arena victory and a barbed wire deathmatch win.
This persona, focusing on sports entertainers over wrestlers, was another example of his meta-commentary on the industry, deliberately poking fun at the terminology often used by WWE and generating tremendous heat. He then achieved another major milestone, defeating Claudio Castagnoli at Dynamite, Grand Slam in September 2022 to win the ROH World Championship. He proudly dubbed himself the Ocho, referring to his 8th recognized world title.
The Ocho. Love it. And he wasn't just performing, he was shaping the future. He signed a contract extension with AEW through 2025, adding roles as a coach and creative consultant, a true veteran contributing behind the scenes. He successfully defended the ROH title against former ROH champions like Dalton Castle, Colt Cabana, Tomohiro Ishii, and Bandito, further elevating that championship and giving it a high-profile reign.
His reign eventually ended when he lost the ROH World Championship back to Castagnoli at Final Battle.
Yeah.
He then feuded with Ricky Starks and Adam Cole, losing an unsanctioned match at Double or Nothing. The JAS effectively disbanded when members walked out due to his association with Don Callis, leading to his next evolution and further character changes.
He then reformed Les Sex Gods with Sammy Guevara, a popular tag team, but a loss to Will Ospreay at All In. London led to Guevara turning on Jericho and joining the Don Callis family, turning Jericho face once again, showing that his allegiances are constantly shifting. He formed the Golden Jets with Kenny Omega to fight the Callis family, but Omega's injury temporarily ended that team.
The feud with the Don Callis family eventually concluded, and in February 2024, Jericho revived his Lionheart persona, a deliberate nod to his earlier career, showing he can always go back to his roots and re-energize a classic gimmick. This continuous revisiting and reimagining of past gimmicks is a key part of his appeal and his chameleon nature.
And then came perhaps his most meta and brilliant character yet, the Learning Tree. In March 2024, he attempted to mentor Hook, which surprisingly led to a match at Dynasty where Jericho won the FTW Championship. He immediately renamed it For the World Championship and dubbed himself the Learning Tree, portraying a delusional mentor. This was a sarcastic, genius reference to online criticism about his constant presence on AEW, showing his ability to turn criticism into character and make himself the butt of his own joke.
That was truly a brilliant meta gimmick, a performer so self-aware they could satirize their own public perception. He successfully defended the FTW title with assistance from Big Bill and Brian Keith, who joined the Learning Tree, adding layers to the group. He then lost the FTW title to Hook at All In, bringing that reign to an end. But the story didn't end there. He continued his championship quest, winning his second ROH World Championship, his 9th overall world title, from Mark Briscoe in a ladder war, with help from Big Bill, dubbing himself the Nouveau, or the 9-time world champion.
The Nuif. He just keeps collecting championships and redefining what it means to be a veteran in this business. He defended the ROH title against Tomohiro Ishii and Matt Cardona, but then lost it to Bandito in a title versus mask match at Dynasty 2025 in a truly high-stakes encounter. After this loss, the Learning Tree disbanded as Jericho blamed his loss on Big Bill and Brian Keith, stating he'd leave until they changed. From being a trailblazer in NJPW and ECW to shaping the identity of WWE in the Attitude Era, and now as a founding pillar and multiple-time champion in AEW, it's clear Jericho has proven that reinvention isn't just a strategy, it's his superpower. It's truly astonishing, isn't it? Chris Jericho's career in wrestling alone is legendary, but what truly sets him apart, cementing his status as a multi-platform phenomenon, is his incredible success beyond the ropes. He's not just a wrestler, he's a true multi-hyphenate entertainer, and his music career with Fozzy is a huge integral part of that identity.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, Jericho's career outside of wrestling isn't just a sideline. It's an authentic extension of his rock star persona and his innate ability to connect with an audience across different mediums. He's been the lead vocalist of Fozzy since 1999, almost as long as his WWE career. Initially, the band was known primarily for cover versions, but they wisely and effectively shifted to primarily original material from their third album, All That Remains, released in 2005, onward. This transition was crucial for their artistic credibility.
That transition from covers to original music is a massive artistic and commercial step for any band. And Fozzy didn't just make that leap, they soared. They've released 7 studio albums, including Fozzy, Judas, and Boombox. And Judas actually achieved a gold certification by the RIAA in 2022, which is a monumental accomplishment for any band, let alone one fronted by a professional wrestler. It's not just a side project, it's a legitimately successful rock band. He also made guest appearances on tribute albums, like Iron Maiden's The Evil That Men Do, and even lent his vocals to Dream Theater's album, Repentance, showing respect from his peers.
That kind of recognition from the music industry, from both sales and critical collaborations, really speaks volumes about his talent as a vocalist and his dedication to music. And it wasn't just performing, he was immersed in the music scene even earlier, writing a monthly column for Metal Edge magazine in the mid-1990s focusing on heavy metal. He also hosted his weekly XM satellite radio show, The Rock of Jericho, starting in 2005. He's truly lived and breathed the rock star life, making it a genuine part of his identity, not just a gimmick.
Absolutely. Beyond music, he's also a New York Times best-selling author, having penned 4 autobiographies. A Lion's Tale covers his life up to his pivotal WW debut. Undisputed chronicles his incredible WWE career. The Best in the World shares untold stories of his Save Us era, Fozzy, and his returns. And No is a 4-letter word, offers 20 valuable career lessons. These books don't just recount facts, they offer incredible insight into his mindset, his approach to business, and his unique journey.
His literary output demonstrates an intellectual curiosity and a strong desire to share his experiences and lessons learned, not just perform them. Beyond that, he's a seasoned actor in film and television, embracing the diverse opportunities available to him. His filmography includes appearances in Android Apocalypse, a notable comedic turn as Frank Corver in MacGruber,
Loved him in that.
Sharknado 3, and a surprisingly creepy role in Terrifier 2, with upcoming appearances in Dark Match and Terrifier 3. He's not afraid to take on genre roles and expand his acting range.
And his television presence is just as extensive. He was a contributor to VH1 pop culture shows like Best Week Ever and I Love the 80s, showing his encyclopedic knowledge of pop culture, and even hosted VH1's 100 Most Shocking Music Moments. He hosted the ABC game show Downfall and the sci-fi robot combat show Robot Combat League, proving his versatility as a TV personality.
One of his most public non-wrestling appearances was competing on Dancing with the Stars in 2011 with Cheryl Burke, which generated significant mainstream publicity and introduced him to an entirely new audience, including an interview with Jay Leno. He also guest starred on Disney XD's Aaron Stone and is the current perfectly cast narrator for Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh yeah, perfect fit.
Most recently, he competed as Bride in Season 8 of The Masked Singer in 2022, showcasing his incredible versatility as a performer and vocalist, completely embracing the camp of it.
And he even starred as the lead actor in the comedy web series, But I'm Chris Jericho, which was loosely based on his life as a former wrestler trying to make it as an actor. He's always been able to poke fun at himself and his career journey, a sign of his confidence and self-awareness.
His entrepreneurial spirit also extends powerfully to digital media. He launched his own highly successful podcast, Talk Is Jericho, in December 2013, featuring interviews with wrestlers, rock musicians, and even paranormal experts showcasing his eclectic interests. It initially aired on Podcastome before moving to Westwood and a major syndicator. He also hosted Live with Chris Jericho on WWE Network in 2015 with guests like John Cena and Stephanie McMahon, bridging the gap between his wrestling and interview work.
Though it's interesting to note that after signing with AEW, he was no longer allowed to have WWE performers as guests on his podcast, a clear sign of the competitive landscape. He also launched his own dirt sheet website, webbiesjericho.com, in 2019, dedicated to the memory of Axl Rotten. And of course, his truly innovative cruise, Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, launched in 2017, is the ultimate manifestation of his brand.
The cruise is a brilliant fusion of his passions, combining rock and wrestling with live bands, artist activities, and even wrestling tournaments. Multiple cruises have been incredibly successful, proving his ability to monetize his brand in innovative ways and create a unique interactive experience for his fans. This truly showcases his ability to create a multi-platform entertainment empire that integrates his diverse interests.
Beyond his public persona and vast entertainment empire, there are details of his personal life and philanthropy that paint a fuller picture of the man. He married Jessica Lockhart in 2000, and they reside in Odessa, Florida, with their 3 children, son Ash, and identical twin daughters Sierra and Cheyenne. All 3 have even been guests on his podcast, showing a very open and connected family life. He owns 3 cats and is reportedly a Christian, with various tattoos reflecting his life and career, including his wife's name, Fozzy's F logo, and artwork from his Sin and Bones album.
There was a notable incident in 2010 when he was arrested with Gregory Helms after leaving a bar, with Christian and CM Punk bailing them out a glimpse into the camaraderie and occasional mischief of life on the road. He's also a co-owner of a D1 sports training and therapy facility in Tampa since 2012, showing diverse business interests beyond entertainment.
And in a fun detail, he's a fan of the Japanese convenience store chain Lawson, which he frequented during his wrestling tours in the 1990s and still visits today. But most importantly, his charitable work showcases his genuine generosity. He donated $2,500 to Alberta forest fire victims with Kevin Owens and Tyler Breeze, and $1,500 for Brian Knobbs' knee surgery, helping out a wrestling legend.
And in 2023, after Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin's on-field collapse, Jericho initially donated $5,000 to Hamlin's charity, and then, in a moment of self-deprecating humor and further generosity, another $5,000 after misspelling his own name in the original donation, bringing his total to $10,000. These acts of generosity are important context, demonstrating a character that extends beyond the ring. If we truly connect this to the bigger picture, Jericho's career outside of wrestling isn't just a sideline. It's an intentional, successful expansion of his rock star persona and his innate ability to connect with an audience. His podcasts, books, films, and even his cruises demonstrate an entrepreneurial spirit and a deep understanding of his fan base, truly making him a multi-platform entertainer. It makes you wonder, what other contemporary performers have managed to build such a diverse, integrated empire across so many creative fields, not just dabbling, but achieving significant success in each?
What an incredible journey we've charted. It's abundantly clear that Chris Jericho is far more than just a wrestler. He is truly the undisputed chameleon of entertainment, a modern-day Renaissance man in spandex. He's noted for his over-the-top rock star persona, his unparalleled in-ring technical prowess, and that constant, relentless ability to reinvent his character throughout his career.
He truly is. Casey Joyner of ESPN famously dubbed him wrestling's David Bowie, an analogy that perfectly captures his consistent character reinvention and adaptability, always shedding one skin for another, always staying ahead of the curve. He's consistently named one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time by journalists from ProWrestling.net, Pro Wrestling Torch, ESPN, the Miami Herald TV Guide, and many others, a testament to his undeniable impact.
Todd Martin of Pro Wrestling Torch placed him in a lofty category, alongside legends like Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, Ted DiBiase, and Dory Funk Jr., that's some elite company. He's been included in greatest wrestlers lists by Sports Illustrated, IGN, Muscle and Fitness, and Metro New York. The critical consensus is overwhelming.
His ability on the microphone, his promo skills are legendary, often cited as being as important as his in-ring work. He was voted best on interviews for the 2000s decade by Wrestling Observer newsletter readers, a huge honor given the incredible talent of that era. This coincided with his induction into the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame in 2010, marking him as an industry legend for future generations.
And the fans absolutely agree. They voted him the greatest WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time in a 2013 WW poll, a landslide 63% victory over other icons like Mr. Perfect and the Honky Tonk Man. This speaks to the depth of his connection with the audience and how much his reigns resonated.
His peers' endorsements are equally powerful, if not more so. Kurt Angle, another multi-time world champion, called him the single greatest performer of all time. Stone Cold. Steve Austin, arguably the biggest star ever, praised his dynamic promos and in-ring work, arguing he's firmly in the top 10. Kenny Omega, his opponent in NJPW and AEW, stated Jericho has a legit argument for being the best of all time due to his success across so many different territories and eras.
John Moxley, another modern legend, echoed that, saying, Jericho is really making a case for being the greatest of all time, breaking new barriers still here in 2020. Kevin Owens always looked up to him, and The Miz said he was part of a generation who sought to emulate Jericho. Even WWE itself, his former employer, declared him a marquee draw with a reputation as one of the best ever, and one of the 10 most prolific pay-per-view performers in company history as of 2019. It's truly universal acclaim.
His impact on All Elite Wrestling, AEW, is particularly noteworthy and cannot be overstated. His role is often compared to Terry Funk in ECW, an experienced veteran bringing instant credibility and mainstream recognition to a younger upstart promotion. He's credited as a key attraction for Dynamite, leading to his nickname, the Demo God, for consistently delivering high viewership in key demographics, proving his drawing power even later in his career. He was voted Best Box Office Draw by One Readers in 2019, underscoring his continued ability to put eyes on the product.
His hometown has also recognized his immense achievements, a truly heartwarming validation of his global impact. He was awarded the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal in 2023 by Manitoba's Premier, and a portion of Winnipeg's Wordsworth Way, where he grew up, was renamed Chris Jericho Way in March 2023. He received the keys to the city of Winnipeg and the Order of the Buffalo Hunt in 2004 for his achievements in charity work. These are significant civic honors, celebrating him as a true hometown hero.
And finally, let's just touch upon that absolutely staggering championship and accomplishment list, which truly highlights his diversity and dominance. He has held 9 world titles across different promotions.
9.
Including 1X Undisputed WWF Champion, 3X World Heavyweight Champion, 1X Inaugural AEW World Champion, and 2X ROH World Champion. He's also held the record 10 Intercontinental titles, including 9X WWF WWE and 1X IWGP. Think about that. 19 major championships across multiple companies.
And that's not even all. He has 4X WCW Cruiserweight, 1X ECW World Television, 1x WCW World Television, 2x WWE United States, 1x WWF European, 1x WWF Hardcore, and 1x FTW Championship, plus 7 tag team titles across various promotions. He's a 4th Grand Slam champion under the original format and a Grand Slam winner under the current format, a testament to his complete dominance across every division imaginable.
He's also accumulated numerous industry awards, including multiple Slammy Awards, War Achievements, NWA World Middleweight, and numerous Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards like Wrestler of the Year, 2008, 2009, 2019, Best on Interviews, Feud of the Year, 2008 versus Shawn Michaels, and Match of the Year, 2008 Ladder Match versus Michaels. This really does raise an important question. Is there truly anyone else in professional wrestling who can claim such an extensive, varied, and universally acclaimed career, not just within the ring, but across so many creative and commercial ventures? His longevity, his relevance, and his continuous evolution are almost unmatched. Hashtag tag outro.
We've journeyed through the incredible trajectory of Chris Jericho, from his humble beginnings in Winnipeg, learning the ropes and absorbing styles, to becoming the Lionheart in Japan and Mexico. We saw him blossom into the man of 1,004 holds in WCW, transform into the iconic Y2J phenomenon, and the very first undisputed WWF champion, the architect of the list in WWE, and then later a founding father and multiple-time champion in AEW. His career is truly a masterclass in adapting, in relentlessly creating, and in consistently connecting with audiences across multiple generations and diverse entertainment platforms.
He truly embodies the spirit of an artist who refuses to stagnate, always looking for the next canvas to paint on, the next character to inhabit, and the next challenge to conquer. His evolution isn't just a series of changes, it's a profound narrative in itself, a testament to what's possible when immense talent meets an insatiable drive for innovation and a deep, intuitive understanding of human connection. He truly lives up to that wrestling's David Bowie moniker.
Jericho's continuous evolution, his willingness to shed old skins and embrace new challenges, isn't just about wrestling or music or acting. It's a powerful blueprint for anyone looking to stay relevant, stay passionate, and frankly, stay excited in their chosen field, no matter how long they've been at it. So, what might Chris Jericho's ongoing saga teach you about embracing change, cultivating creativity, and constantly seeking new mountains to climb in your own life? What uncharted territory might he conquer next, and how will that influence the next generation of performers, inspiring them to be more than just one thing? That's a question worth pondering.